Okay, hello again. Next two accounts we're going to do are the disposal accounts. Now, these disposal accounts are a little different to your normal accounts because they don't have a balance brought down and balance carried down. They're only any time you have a disposal or you make a disposal of a fixed asset, you open up a disposal account and you put in the figures, work out the profit or loss on disposal, and that's the end of the account. Next time you have a disposal, it could be a few years later, you open up a new disposal account for that, work out the profit or loss. So there's no carrying balances forward. So in this case, in the question, let me just move this over here a bit. In the question, we had two disposals. We sold land in 2008, buildings in 2011. So we're going to have two disposal accounts, disposal of land and disposal of buildings. Now, the first thing I like to do is you can take any disposal entries from your land and buildings account or from your provision for depreciation account that had to do with this disposal and put them into your disposal account. So because land doesn't get depreciated, there's no entry in the provision for depreciation account to do with this disposal. So the only place you'll see an entry to do with this disposal so far is in the land and buildings account. So if we have a look, 2008 disposal 270,000. That's when you got rid of that land. So what we do is this in the land and buildings account says disposal 270. In the disposal account it's going to say land and buildings 270 on the opposite side, or just land will be fine since it's land we disposed of. So let's have a go with that. Date is going to be the same, the date you disposed of it. 1st of the 1st, 08, land 270 we said, wasn't it? Okay, the next thing you do then after that is always on the opposite side, on this side over here, you put in whatever you got for the disposal. In other words, how much money you made from the disposal. So sold for 320,000 the land. So it's going to be, again, same date, 1st of the 1st, 08, bank, because your bank account goes up by 320,000. And that's it. And then after that, it's only a matter of totaling it and working out the profit or loss. Now, total it in the same way. We look at whichever side is the bigger, and we add that up. So it's definitely this side is the bigger. So that's going to be the total. So they both have to have the same totals. So this one needs some figure that's going to make this side add up to 320, and the figure it needs is going to be 50,000. But we don't call it a balance because we don't have balances that we carry forward here. 31st of the 12th, 08, we call it profit and loss. Now, even though we say profit and loss, because this figure does go into the profit and loss account as either an expense or a gain, so we don't indicate in the wording whether it is a profit or a loss, but we know because it's on the debit side of this account that it was a profit. If it happened to have been on this side, then that would indicate that it was a loss. But we can see it is a profit. The land, we had it on our books valued at 270 and we got 320 for it, so we made a profit of 50,000. So this would be going into the profit and loss as a gain of 50,000. Now on to the next one, the disposal of buildings. It happened in 2011, sold these buildings. The first thing I like to do is to again get any mention of the disposal from the land and buildings account. Where are we? Disposal 473,000 on the 1st of the 1st 2011. We're going to put it on the opposite side of the disposal account. Instead of saying, since it says disposal in the land and buildings account, we're going to say land and buildings, or just buildings since we disposed of buildings, and it's going to be the same amount. So over here, 1st of the 1st 11 buildings 473. Okay. With this though, the land and buildings account isn't the only account that had references to the disposal account. Also, we had a reference to it in our provision for depreciation account because we do depreciate buildings. So down here, 1st of the 1st 2011, disposal 9460, and again, because it's on this side, when we bring it over to the disposal account, we'll put it on this side, and because in the provision for depreciation account we say disposal, in the disposal account, we're going to say provision for depreciation. So let's just do that. So it's opposite side, first of the first 11, provision for depreciation, and 9460, I believe it was. Okay, then just like last time, we always put on this side under a heading of bank the amount of money we made, or the amount of money that our bank account went up by when we sold for 400,000 those buildings. So bank 400,000. Okay, and then same thing again, we add up the bigger side. So we can see 473, 409,460. This is the bigger side this time. So the total is going to be 473. This has to have the same total. And we have to put in here whatever the difference between this side and this side is. So if we work it out, it's this is 4, well, let's put this up in front, 473 minus, this is going to be 409, 460, 409, 460, 63, 540. So 63, 540, and that is your profit and loss. That's on the 31st of the 12th, 2011. No balance being carried forward. Because it's on this side, it represents a loss of 63,540, and that's important to know. And I suppose the other thing to say is, if you were wondering how is that a loss of that amount, it makes sense because you had buildings at cost in the buildings account of 473, excuse me. The depreciation on them at the time you disposed of them was 9,460. So it means you were writing off, you had in your books decided that they had gone down in value by 9,460. So if we do that, 473, that gives us 463, 540. So if you had decided, according to your books, your net book value of those buildings was 463, 540, but you sold them for 400, you definitely made a loss of 63, 540, and that's what this is telling you here.